afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. First of all, sorry for my sore throat today, but I will play some roles instead of that. I would like to welcome you all here to the 343 meeting of Toastmasters of Delhi. My name is Anand Prakash, and I'm here on behalf of Sergeant at Arms of today's meeting. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and self-growth. Now, to officially start the meeting, I would like to inform you that this meeting will be recorded and shared among members for study and self-reflection. In order to have a smooth meeting, here are some ground rules. First, please avoid talking about religion, sex, and politics. Second, please turn your mobile phones on silent mode. And third, you are requested to be attentive throughout the meeting and support the speakers with your warm smile and applause. Let's have a great meeting. Now I would like to hand over the stage to TMOD. Lavina.
Presiding officer.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. I invite the presiding officer today, our President Saurabh Kanra, to take the meeting forward.
Thank you so much, TMOD. Good evening, everyone. So silent. Should be excited. You are here. Okay, I'm the presiding officer for today's meeting. Welcome you all to this 43rd meeting of Toastmasters of Delhi. My apology, I'm not able to join last two meetings, I believe, because of some professional engagements. Yes, great. So, welcome once again on this 343rd meeting of Toastmasters of Delhi. And as we know that Toastmasters help you to speak, learn, and actually help you to understand the speaking in front of public. And I believe we are gradually growing in that particular field from last couple of months, from a certain stage to now. We learned a lot. Okay, moving ahead, we have a structured meeting today. Before that, I would like to invite the guests in this particular meeting. So anyone guests, as because I not able to attend last two meetings, so I'm not aware of the new person. You are your first meeting today. So can you just come forward and share your intention to come here and join this club?
Hi, good afternoon. So, myself Srinath Shaw, and I am from South Delhi. I work in FITT IIT Delhi, and so intention or purpose of coming here to be comfortable in communicating before a panel, before a group of people. So that is the reason I was looking for the opportunity. I came to know from one of my senior colleague. So he advised this place will be good, this platform will be good. So I thought to give it a shot and join it. So today I'm here.
Very nice. Thank you so much. On board. Please settle down. On that note, I will not take much of your time because we have so many prepared speeches and we are eager to learn or hear from all the speakers. So on that note, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lavina, on this physical stage. Lavina, all yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. I'm your Toastmaster of the day, and we are going to talk about today on how to take ownership of your future self. Now, a problem I have with this topic is that most of us do not know what our future self is or are not cognizant about it. Okay, let me explain a bit more. First of all, I would like to make it clear that the session is highly interactive. You have any questions, any doubts, any objections, anything you can contribute, please feel free to speak up. Now, I would like to hear from some of you. Who are you? What is your identity? Anybody? If people don't volunteer, I'm going to start picking people up.
Question again?
Why you? What is your identity? Guys, is that tough a question?
I am a mother at home, a software engineer at my office, a wife at home. So I have different identities at different points of time.
Thank you, Niti. Somebody.
Still searching?
Uh-huh. And that is why he's our president. Personality, a lot of studies say personality is made up of these 5 elements. First is neuroticism. Neuroticism means how quickly we react or respond to things. Whether we flare up very quickly or we cool down very quickly, we get angry, we immediately have a judgment, or we immediately have an opinion. Neeti, where are you on a scale of neuroticism? How would you describe yourself on this particular facet?
On the count of five,
Whatever count you want to, just describe yourself. Don't give yourself a rating here.
sometimes I do react like very quickly.
Mhm.
So when the topic is familiar to me, it is very quick. When I am unfamiliar to some of the topics, that may take some time to respond to.
Okay. And openness to experience. Sahil, how about you on this particular facet?
I'll say I'm definitely open to experience.
Mm-hmm. Give us an example.
Uh, in what uh, term it is being used, or in what
Anything you've done new recently, any new experience you said yes to.
I think anything that leads to self-development, I think I'm open to that. Experience.
Example,
For example, working out.
you've started that recently.
Yeah, I've become consistent recently.
Good. Agreeableness. Shahid, would you say you have an agreeable personality
In relation to others or to myself?
to yourself? Our frame of reference today is only ourselves.
So not many people agree to me, but yes, I agree to most.
Okay. Extraversion. Ramesh, how do you rate yourself on extraversion?
Extroversion, does that mean like
Introvert, extrovert, ambivert.
I'm not very much extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
I am kind of, you know, on a scale of introversion and extroversion, I am in somewhere in middle, I believe.
Okay, probably an ambivert then.
Probably.
Okay, last we have. I've again forgotten the pronunciation.
Consciousness.
Yes, Okay. So whoever can pronounce it can please volunteer for the fifth one.
Conscientiousness.
Yes, Sahib. Where are you on this?
I don't know the meaning.
It is about.
Connecting to yourself,
Sorry.
connecting to self, like how
No, it is not that conscious. It is conscientiousness means with how much effort and ability you do the work you have signed up to do.
I'll say
Yes, I can relate to that.
No, we are not hearing from you right now. Go on, Sahil.
I'll say I'm. Could you please repeat the definition? I forgot.
How much effort and intent we put into the work we have signed up to do.
I'll say I'm fully conscientious.
So 4 people replied on these 5 parameters. Now these 4 people, you have rated yourself on these 5 parameters. 10 years from now, do you think you will be very different on these parameters?
Depends on the situation.
No ifs and buts, Neeti. We are only talking about you. Situations come and go. You know what you are today, right? You know where you are on these particular parameters, which make up the definition of personality in the book of almost every psychologist across the world. The way you are today on these parameters, do you believe you will be very different on these 10 years down the line?
I
Neeti
think
said no.
we have already shaped our personality by the time we are right now, like the
Okay.
age we are in right now.
There may
Most
be
of us
some
are.
changes, but we cannot be totally different from this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who were the other people? Rami spoke.
I think I'll be more open to openness to experience and more extrovert. I'll be extrovert, I mean somewhere around that, but I'll be more towards extroversion.
Okay. And who was the fourth person? Shahid, yes.
I think I'll evolve.
You think you will evolve. And Suniti and Sahil, if you look 10 years ago, how different were you on these parameters? Were you the same or are you different today?
Much
I will
different.
say much. I am different.
You both are saying you were different. But yet you say 10 years down the line you won't really be different.
Because when we inculcate something into our life, some positive thing, so we cannot get rid of that. Like we cannot be indifferent from that after 10 years.
This is a great bias that Dr. Gilbert explained in a very famous TED talk. He said we believe that the version we are today is the best version of ourselves or nearly the best version of ourselves. However, change is inevitable. We will change, we will be different people. In fact, if we were to time travel and see ourselves 20 years down the line or 20 years ago, we would not recognize those people at all. So, what we are going to talk about today is that change is inevitable. How can you influence it to be the change that you want to be? That is broadly the structure of what we talk about today. Moving on. Toastmasters meeting has three broad content boxes. We have prepared speeches, we have extemporaries, and we have evaluations. So first I would like to invite the general evaluator, Shahid Anwar Rafi, DTM, to speak about evaluation parameters. Shahid.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Lavina. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. Good afternoon. I've been given a feedback that I should not be a general evaluator so often because it will not give a good learning to people who am continuously giving feedback. So I request you all to volunteer for this role the next time. And it's a good feedback, and we should take it very positively. And I want you, one of them, to come and evaluate the whole meeting in general. It's not a big deal. It's very simple. I'll just tell you what you have to do, and you have to do only that. That is enough. Now, as a general evaluator, we have to evaluate the meeting under certain parameters. Most of the time, I select 3 parameters. More than that, it is not required, or it can be selected by others who become the general evaluators. For example, I always insist on a parliamentary behavior in the meeting. This is basically the role of the sergeant at arms to set the expectations and tell people what to and what not to do. But as the general evaluator, I have to take care that people actually adhere to it. Second is how much energy we have in the meeting. Are we actually applauding people? Which is a very big deal. Sometimes our brain is more into a formal state, and we are avoiding any applause. When somebody is coming on stage, we are thinking some other thing, and we are not doing it. But applause is something that should be, contagious as well as continuous and spontaneous. So each time somebody is coming on stage, start applauding. That's not a big deal. This is something that the general evaluator looks into. The third thing is how prepared the role players and the speakers and the speech evaluators are. So the basic, uh, you know, uh, focus of a general evaluator is on taking care that each and every role player is prepared for the role. He should collaborate with the VP Education of the club to let them know that has he shared the details of the role with the role players if they are new, given them some briefing, and if they are old, has he reiterated the things with them. So this is something that the general evaluator has to. The the fourth part being, what are the role players? Are they well prepared? And now comes the speakers. Are they interacting with the role players? Have they talked to the role players? For example, a speaker says that I have a lot of R's and M's, and he feels embarrassed that his R's and M's will be discussed in public after a certain number. So he can definitely talk to the R counter and say, please stop counting after 20, stop counting after 18, because in one of the speeches, a table topic speaker came on stage and his count was given for 2 minutes as 42 hours, and the person quit Toastmasters. That's quite embarrassing. So you can discuss that. So please be gentle with me. You can also talk to the evaluators, which is very important. Your speech evaluator. That what is it that you should evaluate me on stage for, and off stage for. So this is something that you need to discuss. Fifth thing can also be what is the audience's interaction in the whole meeting. Sometimes some people come on stage, they just give a monologue and they go, and the people get bored. So the general evaluator can work on that also. Now, the most important part of a general evaluator that I'm going to do is I'm going to evaluate all the whole meeting on the whole in each and every role play. I'll take care what the Sergeant Pradhan said and what he did not say, what he was supposed to say, what he was not supposed to say. What was the presiding officer supposed to say and not supposed to say? What was the TMOD doing in the whole meeting, because he or she is the MC of the meeting, the hero of the meeting, the torchbearer of the meeting. What was his or her energy in the meeting? I'll take care of that. Then I'll work on the table topic master. What is the table topic master's coherence with the theme? Was he out of place with theme, or was he choosing the right topics for the theme? Was it simple? Was he conscious that the themes that he chose were good and they were in relation to the theme, as well as were making the speaker comfortable? And last but not the least is I am going to evaluate. The general evaluator evaluates the evaluators. So to evaluate the evaluators, that is something tricky. Now you have it's again a simple formula. What you need to do is you walk into the shoes of the speech evaluator, evaluate the speech, and then cut out all the feedback, the recommendation or the commendation that has been given by the speech evaluator, and then tell the public or the speaker or the audiences that the speech evaluator could have added these things. If it is not required, if everything has been covered, you can appreciate the evaluator. If not, it has not been covered, then you can add on to that. For example, we go for the 5 aspects. Say, for example, the content was good, the stage movement was fine, but he or she, the speech evaluator, missed the voice modulation part. So you can talk about it. So just go on the technical thing. So it's a very simple thing. You come, you do it, and you learn from it. Now, general evaluator is not alone. The Toastmaster of the day is alone. That is the most marathon task he has to do. He has no support from anyone. He or she has to take the whole meeting on his or her small shoulders. But the general evaluator has a team of auxiliary role players, and I'm going to call them tag team, and I'm going to call them on stage, and they are going to tell us what is the objective of that particular role that they are going to do. So please help me welcome on stage the timer of the day, Toastmaster Anand, who is going to help us with the objectives of this role.
Thank you, General Manager. My name is Anand, and I'm the timer for today's meeting. As a timer, my duties are to track time used by speakers in various presentations. Also, I will use a system of signals to assist the speakers by showing cards of colors. For table topics, I will show green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1:30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. For speeches, I will show green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. In the end, I will show my report when the general evaluator calls for my report. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. I would now like to call upon stage Toastmaster Neeti as the aha counter of the day. Toastmaster Neeti.
Thank you, General Evaluator. My role as an AHA counter is to count the number of ahas and ums each speaker will be using. I will also count the double counts like, you, and all those words. And I will present my report during the evaluation session in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Neeti. I would now like to call upon stage the grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Deepak.
afternoon to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am a grammarian for today's meeting, and my role is to observe all the speakers and role players carefully and identify any incorrect or correct uses of the English language. I should also be noting the usage of the word of the day, and I will insist that please avoid using regional language. If it is required, then convert it into English language. The word of the day is haywire. It means it's an adjective. It means out of control or erratic. And for example, the sentence is whenever I get angry, I goes haywire. So, is that right?
Yes, please do.
Is it visible to all?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak. If you don't take control of your life, your future self, your life will go haywire. So that's a good way of relating ourselves with the theme. With this, I would now like to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day, and I'll be joining you again in the last session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Toastmasters and guests, we are going to play a small activity. Please divide yourself into groups of 4. Quickly. It can be based on where you're sitting, it can be based on who you like or who you don't like. Your chapter. Hey, you left the kid out. What is happening? You can't leave the kid out. Okay, to ensure that our meeting does not go haywire, we need one timer from each group. So who is going to volunteer? Yes. No, Anand cannot be the timer. He is already the timer. We need somebody else.
I can.
Okay, great.
On each group?
Yes, from each group, one timer.
You have to make 3
We are
groups of
5,
4.
okay?
4
3 groups.
We are 5. We are 5 people.
That is okay. That's absolutely fine.
Viraj, help me about it.
Now, whoever the timers are, please step outside. I'll give you a cheat code. The other people, when we are back, you have to tell the group a small introduction about yourself. One tip, distinguish between your former, current and future self. Your introduction should be of 45 seconds. So prepare. The timers come with me. Now, who is the third timer? Bahar.
Former, current and future.
You have to give an introduction of yourself to your group for 45 seconds. Distinguish between your former, current and future self. Who's the timer in this group? I'm done.
You have to do it now or you have to wait for you?
We have to prepare.
Former or future? Current. Applying for a man. And future is a candidate in the past doing a job. You are going to start a business. How far it is? So, Manshu, your present future, past, whatever you can support, don't be. I'm sorry.
Guys, no cheat codes, huh? I will serialize this group. I saw them discussing. Why do you need to discuss your introduction? Okay, guys, start.
Go ahead.
In your group,
Okay, we start.
Yes.
It's a sort of small speech within the group, right?
Yes.
For everybody.
Yes. Among your
45 seconds.
45 seconds.
Everybody, you speak, me speak, and you speak.
Yes. Yes. The timer will also speak in the end, but nobody will time the timer.
Timer will not speak at any
I'm just like hearing, I'm there like a floating bat. Now ignore me. Continue, guys.
You listen for sight.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
अच्छा, okay. Now he is ready to say these people are in there. Why are you looking so tired? I'm not. I'm please don't do that. So actually, I'm trying to figure out the time. You have to.
My former self was
multiple
what I'm not now.
companies for earning money, basically not for earn or gather experience. Currently, I'm doing food supplements. My future as the sage to become a coach and a speaker. I'm trying to figure it out because I started a blog in particular language for youth and as a small town. Understand what I'm told or not understand what I'm involved with all this grammatical parts of the language, which I'm still struggling. And I can learn, but at a very slow speed. And the art is moving very fast nowadays.
So,
Basically,
talking about
practice and
past
environment.
2022 benchmarks. At the time I was 20 years, then 40 years, like 48 years, and then going forward. So till 20 years I was stuck over here, studying whatever I was doing. Support is my brand, I don't wish to talk, but not moving much. Then after that I got a future for myself, and myself, and then I started moving out. I used to go everywhere, doing different kind of courses. And by moving, I connected with a lot of people. I did like I learned so much that I got married and so many courses that I went to go, gave the abroad, traveled there, exhausted me. One place to another. And now it's like anything. So that first part was really stagnant. Everything was holding very well. Second part was moving. Now I'm in the third phase. I was listening to the future where I'm moving more towards the digital, like sitting there and having different activities. And then that is the purpose. That's how I'm seeing like future person. Myself as
I have worked with currently I working as an executive and business person. My own business is in future around saving starting from that.
जो अनमैरिड लाइफ है उसके साथ है I was taught to do करती थी और मैं उस स्टेज पर ही काम भी करती थी और कुछ कॉपी क्लासेस चलाना जैसे जो क्रिएटिविटी के अंदर सिखाना ये सब चीज करती थी मैं उसके अंदर गेम ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस में पीएचडी में आफ्टर मैरिज मैंने बच्ची किया और तो थोड़ा प्रोफेशनल लेवल बहुत बढ़ गया और क्योंकि पेरेंट्स के यहाँ आपको लेकर आना बच्ची की तरह रहे कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जहाँ मर्जी जाना आफ्टर मैरिज बिल्कुल ड्रास्टिक चेंज आ गया लाइफ में बच्चे हो गए तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज और चीजों में कुछ नेचर डिफरेंट हो गया कुछ चीजें अलग हो गई लाइफ में तो मैं स्टक हो गई पर मैं इन फ्यूचर ये चाहती हूँ कि एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वाला फेज है कि वो शायद बच्चे यंग हो जाएंगे और उनको मैरिज के लिए तो वो फेज मैं फिर वही लाइफ जीना चाहूंगी जो पहले जी थी क्या होता है
how I used to be. And then suddenly I fall in love, and then I started studying, and then I studied, and then finally I became a CA. And then after becoming CA, I started something fell into self-realization. Then I started my spiritual journey. So this was about my past. Present, I am striving to become a better version of myself in all the areas, whether it's spirituality, whether it income professionally. Although I'm struggling a lot, like I'm not very consistent. So I'm just working on developing my me and developing my self-control in many areas where many ways fail, and I'm also working on my public speaking skills. I think that this particular thing I need in my life because now I want to share my knowledge with others also. And about my future, about my future, I want to, I want to that I should spend more time with myself, and I fulfilled all my family goals in all the ways possible that I can spend time with myself.
I am very
I will actually ask you that later, but
and then he called me and then he said, the purpose of life is
fair enough, fair enough.
from that day on, it is stuck for me.
Are we done?
Yes.
Can the timer please come? Can the timer please come for a minute? Are we done there? Okay.
No, you should reduce your time to wait and miss.
This was the common.
We have to do
We done?
also have to do that share.
You want to? You want to, then go ahead.
You have full. You should give a timeline also to it.
I did. I said how much did I say? 45 seconds per person. What will happen to this class? The president is not listening to the TMOD. Are we done? Can you come? Can the timer come for a minute, please? आप जाओ सीट पे। हाँ, डाल।
Introvert, pampered and disciplined,
Okay, so the timer here. Yeah, can you tell me each person's breakdown? How much time they spend talking about the past, present, and future? Yes, Neeti.
Neeti, 13 seconds past.
Okay.
20 seconds present. 15 seconds future.
Okay. Arun.
RN 15
Past.
15 seconds present.
Okay.
6 seconds future.
Okay. Anand.
Anand 15 seconds past. 15 seconds present. 6 seconds future.
Okay. If somebody is good in maths, can they please do these additions? We'll have to do for all of them.
Miraj 20 seconds past. 13 seconds present. 12 seconds future.
Okay. Has somebody noted for you also?
Yes.
Yeah.
30 seconds past. 30 seconds present. 30 seconds future.
Okay, somebody please do these additions now. Somebody do these additions. Sahil, what's the timer? Ramesh?
Yes, for Sahil, the former self is 5 seconds, the past one.
Okay.
and current 7 seconds,
Okay.
and then 4 seconds.
45 seconds का task था. You finished in 15 seconds. Next level, Guru Bhaiya.
Then Mr.
Okay.
President,
Mr. President.
10 seconds past,
Mm-hmm.
4 seconds current,
Mm-hmm.
and then 26 seconds about
Future.
future.
Okay.
And then the guest, Srinath, 60 seconds past,
Okay.
and 20 seconds current,
Okay.
and 10 seconds for the future.
Okay. Yourself? Sadir, somebody notes for you?
No.
Last group?
Himanshu,
Hmm.
for the past 10 seconds,
Okay.
and for present 35 seconds,
Okay.
and future 25 seconds.
Okay.
Adeshwar sir, for past 20 seconds,
Okay.
and present 40,
Uh-huh.
future 17 seconds.
17. Okay.
And Ritu ma'am, for the past 30 seconds,
Okay.
for the present 30 seconds, and for future 15 seconds.
Okay.
And Shahid sir, for the past 40 seconds,
Uh-huh.
and for the present 45 seconds,
Uh-huh.
and future also 40 seconds.
Okay. Anybody else? Did somebody note to you? Okay, we are done.
Lavina, write 93 for the first.
All right.
73. No, not for this. Yes, 73, and for the last 69.
Okay.
This is for our team.
Second group.
75.
Yes. 70, 80, 90, 100. Oh, this is a perfect century, huh? The group of veterans.
74, 31.
40.
97. Now, can somebody do the average of these three? I mean,
268 for fast.
268.
201. It is 201. Average is 201.
Average 201. No, cannot be.
88 into maybe.
Average is?
Sorry.
Around 88 maybe. 80, 85, 85. Like that. $90 above you.
$85. It's about present.
Yeah. How can maths be subjective? 93 plus 75 plus 100.
75 or
Last one 68.
Which one is 68?
Last one.
This one is 68. The average.
Present is 85.
85. Okay. Past.
89.
Okay. Now, what is evident from here?
People know about the past more than
anything else.
We live in the past more than the future. The topic is take ownership of your future self. However, most of you spend most of the time talking about your past. There is not even one person. No, there is one person who spent more time speaking about the future than the present or the past.
Not just one.
No,
it's in the second.
second
Shahid,
person.
that is like
Yes.
past and
Even
future
Shahid.
40.
No, Shahid spend more time on the present.
And president as well.
Yeah, present.
President.
26 seconds.
So this was our president.
Yes.
We choose the best people. Guys, the objective of this exercise is only to drive home the point that we spend the maximum time in our minds. And our narrative about ourselves is about our past and the present, while we all hope for a glorious future, a better future. If we do not invest that time in the narrative, in our conversations, if we are living in the past or the present, the opportunity to mold the future and have the future that you want proportionately decreases. So spend equivalent time and clearly distinguish between your past, present, and future selves. Only then will you be able to take ownership of your future self and build the future that you want. Now we move on to the second part of the meeting, which are prepared speeches. Our president is already up and about. He is the first speaker, a very honorable and distinguished president or a leader with Herbalife, has an 11-year-old daughter, and he inspires us each and every meeting that he appears for in the club. The evaluator is our very own DTM Shahid. I will invite Shahid on the stage to talk about the objectives of Saurabh's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. Toastmaster Saurav is going to deliver his project three from level 3 of leadership mastery.
No,
Leadership
dynamic
development, dynamic leadership. And the evaluation, the speech is about using presentation software. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to introduce or review presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate his or her understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating the technology into a speech. Thank you. All the best to Toastmaster Saurabh, and over to Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you.
Goal setting, Toastmaster Saurabh, goal setting.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster Lavina. I don't know actually when I prepared the slides. I just went through the topic that assigned to me. But when I came here, I actually understood that this is the theme of the day today, and I'm not totally synchronized for that particular thing. Okay, so in modern life, I don't know how many of you understood the artificial intelligence by show of hands. Artificial intelligence, you learned or you heard about Chat GPT,
Yes.
OpenAI.
Yes.
You all know that.
Yes.
So during this time, today's modern era, we do not be very creative while creating presentations, because that part already taken care by your artificial intelligence. That's why it is very difficult nowadays to showcase your creativity. But it is very easy nowadays to communicate, because artificial intelligence or computer or any environment cannot capture your thoughts, your speaking capabilities. So on that note, presentations, master your presentations style, presentation skills has this very important part, showcasing through PowerPoint presentations. And I'm trying a very small attempt to particular thing, so that you can also understand how a machine and a man collaboratively help our environment to understand a very small important things. Okay, how many you understood about goal setting by show of hands? In your life, anyone prepared a bucket list? I already did it, because our Toastmaster Sika already helped us to understand how to prepare the bucket list. Okay, so from there I actually took this concept of preparing goal setting. Goal setting, why it is important? Because today we are talking about your future, and as Toastmaster Niti highlighted that maybe or may not be, I will change. I would change in my future if all the circumstances remain same. I may be like that only. I don't want to change. If you are not changing yourself, it means you are wasting your time, because Toastmaster Lavina already highlighted that change is inevitable. So you have to change, either biologically or psychologically. So change is always there. You have to change. But if you want to achieve something, it will be very easy if you set a particular goal. It must be one goal in your lifetime you can set today, and your journey will be very easy if you set that aim to that particular goal. So what is goal? Goal is basically a desired. It is visible, right? You can switch off the light.
It's visible.
It's visible, okay? So this is basically a definition of goal. Goal is basically your wish, your desire with a timeline with certain specification. Okay, goal setting helps you to develop your path, your focus. You should be laser focused if you set a particular goal, what you want in your future. Setting a goal is the first step in turning the invisible part, what you dreamed in your past. If you set a goal, you actually visible, or if you make it visible to yourself where you are heading to. So these are the points that help us to understand why we require a goal setting. So it gives a long-term vision and a short-term motivation, because why should I start? Everything is going smooth for us. We are having a job, we may be having a supporting family, we have a good friends, friendly environment. So then why should I set a goal? So initially, it requires lots of motivation to, to set a goal. It focuses your acquisitions of knowledge and helps you to organize your time. That helps you time management. It also allows you to measure your progress. Goals help you achieve whatever highest you have. When we are into sports, we actually showcase our highest measure in that particular field. If we are leading a normal life, it is not. A goal without a plan is just a wish, because we are not focusing, it is not measurable. Definitely, when we set a goal, we have to give a timeline and a specification. Goal has two different types, one is short term and long term. You have to decide how much time you are going to give to that particular process to achieve that particular goal. So when we decide, when we fix a goal, it should be smart. Smart means it should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. Means I want to go to moon in my current scenario, it will not be a realistic goal. So your goal should be realistic. Plus, whenever you set a goal, you have to mention a time when you are going to achieve that. So how to set a goal? It has a very small, simple steps. Uh, Simple. Why I say that? The 7 steps it's mentioned here. Identify the first step. Identify your goals. Set an objective. List your obstacles, because whenever you are going to achieve something, there are obstacles, and you have to overcome all those obstacles. Identify people who want to pull you down, who want to give you opinions. List your skills. You already have certain skills, you have to list that, and you have to merge that with your activities. You have to develop a plan, and last but not the least, if you achieve that goal, what are the benefits you are going to get? So this is the small portion where you understand why the goal setting is important. Now I am a normal person. Let's let's hear something who already set a goal and achieve something. We all know him by show of hands. Yes, let's hear from him why goal setting is important and what are the benefits he achieved from that particular goal.
I'm here to talk about success. The first rule of success is to have a vision. You see, if you don't have a vision of where you go, and if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. I mean, as you know, I was born in 1947 in Austria after the Second World War. So I was very fortunate that I stumbled onto my vision. And I didn't really like Austria when I grew up. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I couldn't see myself becoming a farmer or a worker in a factory or anything like that, even though my parents wanted me to stay there and have a normal life. But that was their vision, not mine. My vision was totally different. I felt that I was born for something special, for something unique, for something big. Then one day I went to school. I remember I was 11 years old, and they showed a documentary about America. There they showed this documentary, the huge skyscrapers, the high rises, the huge bridges, the 6-lane freeways, and all of this stuff. And I said to myself, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be around here with these little farmhouses and these little buildings. I want to be in America. One day after school, I walked by a store in Graz. So I went inside and I looked around, and then I saw a magazine. It's a bodybuilding magazine that had Reg Park on the cover. Reg Park was then a 3-time Mr. Universe. And I saw him on the big screen as Hercules. I read that and I said to myself, wow, this is the blueprint for my life. This is exactly what I want to do. I want to become a bodybuilding champion just like Reg Park. I want to get into movies just like Reg Park. And I want to make millions of dollars and be rich and famous just like Reg Park. Do you know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going, that I'm going to become this bodybuilding champion just like him. So it was just a question of how do you do it? I was so relieved, because when you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy. So people always ask me, when they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they said, why is it that you're working out so hard? 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face. And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for a goal. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title. So every rep that I do gets me closer to accomplishing that goal, to make this goal, this vision turn into reality. Every single set that I do, every repetition, every weight that I lift will get me a step closer to turn this goal into reality. So I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound squat. I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound bench press. I couldn't wait to do another 2,000 reps of sit-ups. I couldn't wait for the next exercise. At the age of 20, I went to London and I won the Mr. Universe contest as the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And it was because I had a goal.
Wow. So don't wait. Set a goal today and conquer the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Toastmasters and guests, this is serendipity. This particular speech helps my theme along so much. We will borrow your presentation again in a while, Saurabh. While we were doing the formal exercise, I was walking around listening to what all of you guys were saying. And there were some narratives which were coming through. What is this? No, this is whiskey. What makes you say this is water?
Whiskey is a
Sorry,
different
we have
color.
a kid. This is soda. No alcohol here. See, a label has been put here. That's why without testing, tasting, you are assuming this is water. You are right, by the way. Just driving the point across. Now, I heard a lot of you giving yourselves labels. And the labels are mostly negative or self-restrictive. I am introvert. I am this. I am that. I was this. I was that. Rarely did I find anybody saying something good about themselves or saying something positive about themselves or hopeful about themselves. Like we discussed earlier, we spend the most time staying in our own heads. If we give labels to ourselves, that is where we restrict ourselves. So please try not to give yourself labels. If you say you are an introvert, the world will perceive you as an introvert. Why do you have to give labels to yourself and restrict the frame of reference by which you are measured? Why do you have to be either this or that? Why can you not be everything and everyone? That is what I want to leave you with in this bit. Next, we have a second speech by Anand Prakash. Anand works in an MNC, swims, cycles, plays sports, and took a bath before coming today, which he so graciously told us all. The speech evaluator is Ramesh. Ramesh is, a,
Yes.
Ramesh is an engineer by profession and is an ESL trainer. I invite Ramesh on stage to share the speech objectives. Am I pronouncing your names?
It's Ramesh.
Ramesh, my apologies.
I don't have. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Anand is working in an MNC, and he is fond of watching movies, enjoys cycling and swimming, and has been a part of Toastmasters for the last 4 months. And his pathway is presentation mastery, and he is on his level 2 and project 1. The speech title is Understanding Your Communication Style. Thank you so much.
Understanding your communication style, Toastmaster Anand. Toastmaster Anand, understanding your communication style.
Thank you, Ravina ji. Hello again, everyone. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, are you guys interested in settling down in foreign countries? Great. No. People dream about to live in the USA or to settle down there because USA is the most powerful country in the world. They have a huge army. Technologically, they are super advanced. Billionaires live there and having trillions of dollars of economy. America is so bright, beautiful, and prosperous that whole world aspire to become like that. I believe we are all aware of the bright side, but today I would like to turn your attention to the dark side of it. Because when we like or love something or someone, we tend to overlook the other faces of that one beautiful looking face. To really understand things, you need to look at the both sides of the coin. Today I'm going to tell you that I got to know so far. 32% of Americans are struggling to pay their bills on time. 32% is not a small number. People are living paycheck to paycheck. That means they have no emergency fund. They have not saved anything for the rainy days. If they don't get their paychecks for 2 months in a row, they are this close to be on the streets as a homeless. Because renting a property to live there is too expensive to afford. Even those people who are working in jobs, earning a decent amount of money, are still struggling and living in their cars in the parking lots and looking for shelters here and there. And these are working people. So, what's the point? It simply means you are educated, you have a job, but just because you cannot afford the rental of a living property, you are bound to be on streets looking for shelters. Renting a property is too affordable to live, to afford, and I think This is so shameful for a country like America. USA is, for comparison, let me give you an example. USA is 3 times more big than India. And have 4 times less population than India. That means India has 135 crore people, but USA has 35 crore. Have you noticed Delhi is so big that if I ask you to cover the whole Delhi by walking, you will deny my request. But Delhi is just as big as a dot when you see India's map, and USA is 3 times bigger than India while having little population. I wonder how come people are living their lives as homeless in US. So much space, so little people, but homeless. And those who are jobless are living their lives as stranded dogs in the streets, begging all day and looking for food articles in the dustbin. That's their reality. And it's so tough to bounce back to normal life again for them. And after hitting the streets, they are bound to become criminals for their survival. They become drug addicts, they consume and abuse themselves and others also. I wonder how come the government and NGOs are not taking any action to solve this issue. Few weeks back, Toastmaster Toastmaster Lavina talked about the areas of concern and area of control. But I don't care. Not of her. Because no, my point is I don't care if this falls under my area of control or concern or not. Because I do care how my fellow human beings are living like dogs. I don't find any sense or purpose or logic why Americans are not doing anything for their own citizens. I talked about America and not India. You know why? Even when India has the same problem, India has so many homeless people. I talked about America because they have resources, they have the money needed, but still they are lacking those that compassion which needed, which is quite needed. Their own people, their own white race is living like a living in the hell situation. However, who is at fault for all these things? Who is responsible? What needs to be done and what can be done could be a topic for another speech. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Which is more important, imagination or knowledge?
Imagination.
What is the difference between imagination and knowledge?
Imagination is something which doesn't exist and knowledge is something you have to create.
Imagination will help you to find one.
Yes. Since the Neolithic age, humans knew that birds fly and humans walked and ran. Some humans imagined what if we could fly, and now we have aeroplanes. So I would like to invite all of you to take 2 minutes, imagine and write down what your future selves would be like. Are we done? I sometimes feel like a class teacher with a class full of very obedient students who listen to all my instructions. Now we welcome the third speaker, Sahil Madan. Sahil is the VPPR of our club. This is the second term that he is holding this position. Sahil has been in the club for about a year. Has recently started working out consistently and is preparing to join a B school. We wish him all the best for that. Sahil's speech will be evaluated by our president, Saurabh Kandra. I invite Saurabh on the stage to share the speech objectives.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lavina. I believe already everyone knows Sahil very well. I'm not going towards his introduction. Sahil is going to deliver a speech from level 1 P3, and the objective is vocal variety and body language. And this is from the pathway called leadership development. So I wish him best of luck, and back to Toastmaster Lavina.
The 40% rule, Toastmaster Sahil, the 40% rule.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavina. 24 years of age, 130 kilograms, living in the United States, earning $500 a month, working as pest control, living paycheck to paycheck. This was the life of a man named David Goggins. He lived in the United States like any other ordinary man. He was in the obese category. After his 9-hour shift from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., he went to the nearest shop, grabbed a box of donuts, had a large chocolate milkshake, and that was his meal almost every day when he went back to home from work. After reaching home, he used to switch on TV. He used to blast the TV on full volume. He used to watch some episodes, some on Discovery TV, or he used to listen to his some of his favorite music while he was in the shower. This was his routine up till one day when he went home. As usual, he turned on the TV. He went to shower. He heard something from the TV on the Discovery show, which is called a show called Class 224, which is about the Navy SEAL training of the United States, which is considered to be one of the toughest trainings, the military trainings in the world. When David listened to this, he got a bit intrigued by this. Now he went outside, he watched the whole episode, and it was showing some trainers actually training, drenched in mud, climbing in mud, and drowning in water, going deep down in water, and actually training for the Navy SEALs. At the end of that show, there was a speech by a military or a Navy commander, and at the end of his speech, he actually said a line which grabbed David's attention. He said, "Most of us are comfortable in lives of mediocrity." That actually was his eureka moment. He went to the mirror nearby in his home and he said to himself, "Am I also comfortable living in mediocrity? Is this really who I am, working as pest control, obese category, and having donuts and chocolate milkshakes every day?" He said to himself, "I'll transform." The very next moment, he started calling Navy recruiters. Half of them laughed at his face. "Oh, 130 kilograms, you joined the Navy." That was most of the reactions. After facing dozens and dozens of rejections, he actually tried one last time. He called a recruiter and I said, "Hey, I want to join the Navy SEALs training." And the recruiter said, "Okay, come to my office, let us check you out." So he went there, 130 kilograms, and the recruiter said, "Okay, the next batch is starting 3 months from now, but according to your age and according to your height, the maximum limit for a Navy SEAL is 95 kilograms. So you have 3 months. If you actually want to join, you need to lose 35 kgs in 3 months." So he went home, he thought about it. 35 kilograms is not possible losing that in 3 months. I'll go back to my ordinary life now. So again, the next day he started his usual life, pest control, spraying cockroaches and rodents. While doing that, he actually thought to himself, I'm not giving up that easy. Let's try for one moment, let's try it out. So the very next day, he quit his job and he actually tried to put his full focus on those 3 months that he had, tried to lose all that weight. The first day he went for a jog, he was tired in just 1 kilometer. He said, am I really able to do this? But he focused on marginal improvement, on consistency. He made a rigorous training program. He made his diet. He actually only had one meal a day. And in a matter of 3 months, he actually lost that 35 kgs. So that was the amount of consistency and discipline that he had. Now, this was a great achievement in itself, but the real challenge was about to begin. That is the Navy SEAL training. So he got enrolled in that, and as I mentioned earlier, it is one of the most difficult trainings in the world. So it is because of a reason. It is because there is a particular time period in that called the Hell Week. It is a period of 5.5 days of continuous training. In an amount of 130 hours, you only get a total of 4 hours of sleep. Apart from that, you have to train continuously, and it is a period of continuous mental and physical torture and pain. That is how actually they become tough. Some of them face injuries, half of them leave by the first week, second week. Only some of them are able to make it through the Hell Week. So when David, the first time he enrolled, he got to the Hell Week, he actually somehow completed that. And by the time he completed that, he was diagnosed with a disease called as pneumonia by staying in the water, training in the water. So the condition to continue for him was that he needs to start all over again after taking a break because of that disease. So he even went for that. He went through Hell Week second time, but guess what? After completing the Hell Week second time, he got a broken knee. After I still remember a sentence that he said that he tried to tie his knee with a duct tape and continue the training. But the officers said that no, it's not possible. You need to take a break and you have to start all over again. So after two times, the third time he actually finally completed that whole Navy training in a period of 30 months. Now, now you must be wondering who actually David Goggins is. David Goggins, as you already might know, as I said, that he is an ex-Navy SEAL officer, but also he is one of the world's strongest endurance athletes. He's a runner, he's a cyclist, he's a motivational speaker, and also he is the author of this book, Can't Hurt Me, by David Goggins. I must recommend. Now, you must be wondering, the speech title is 40% rule. So where is the 40% rule? Now, the 40% rule is something that David discovered throughout his journey, during the fat loss journey as well as the Navy SEAL training. Now, he explains this concept very beautifully. He says, for example, in a car, you have a speedometer, you have a speed limit. Some cars are even equipped with, fitted with an equipment where you can't go beyond a particular speed. If you try to go beyond that particular speed, it automatically tries to slow your car down. Now, the 40% rule says that that equipment is actually present in our brain. When we try to go for something that is hard for us or that is out of our comfort zones, our brain tells us, no, it is time to stop. We are experiencing pain. It is getting out of our comfort zone. We actually need to stop. But the thing is, research says that you're only 40% done till then. You're only 40%, you have achieved only 40% of what you're actually capable of. In one line, if I have to sum it up, the 40% rule says that when your brain tells you that you're done, you're actually only 40% done. So that is the 40% rule, that when your brain tells you that, okay, it activates a fight or flight response, that, okay, we are getting uncomfortable, we are experiencing pain now, it actually means that you're actually only 40% done till that moment. So if you implement the 40% rule in your life, you will see tremendous changes. I have seen it myself. Whenever I am experiencing a difficult moment, I tell my brain, no, it is the brain that is stopping me. I'm not the one stopping myself. It is my brain telling me that I'm done. I've only achieved 40%. That is why my brain is telling me to stop. And when you say that to yourself, you experience a sudden burst of energy that no, this is not my capability, this is not my potential. Try it out yourself and you'll see what you're actually capable of. Thank you. And that's
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Quite motivating to know that when our brain tells us to stop, we are only 40% done. The brain is the biggest illusion. So in the last section, we wrote about how we want our future selves to be. Now I would request you all to write down below it where you are in the present. Are we done? Okay, then we move on to the last speech of the day by Ramesh Abdul Badu. Ramesh, as we learned earlier, is an engineer and working as an ESL trainer. The path chosen by Ramesh is presentation mastery. He will be presenting his level 1 speech too. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. I am his evaluator. There's a power watching you, Toastmaster Ramesh. Toastmaster Ramesh, there's a power watching you. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Toastmasters. Has it ever happened to you that you were asked not to do something, but you wanted to do it so bad that when no one was watching you, you did it anyway, and then you faced consequences for that? Well, Toastmasters, I have experienced something just like that. When I was in 11th standard, I started learning to ride a bike. And one morning at 5 o'clock, I saw the opportunity to get out and ride the bike. So I went to my parents and asked for their permission. They gave me the permission, but like all Indian parents, they put one condition: that I will not go beyond our street. I will remain in the street. So I accepted the condition, and I immediately took out the bike and started riding. I remember my parents were watching me from the balcony of our house. So I took a few rounds in the street, and after a few rounds, when I was about to turn back from the end of the street, I stopped the bike. And I could see the beautiful empty road in front of me. And that empty road was calling me towards it. So I was sitting on the bike and I turned around to see if my parents are still watching me. And guess what? There was no one in the balcony. And my friends, in moments like these, when you feel that no one is watching you, that is when the devil strikes the most. So I got tempted and I went beyond the street. And I kept on riding and riding, and I was enjoying every bit of it until I came across a small speed breaker, a small speed bump on the road. When I reached that speed breaker, I applied the front brakes. But I did not know that the front brakes in my bike were extremely sharp. As soon as I hit the brakes, my bike slipped and I went straight to the ground. And my head hit the floor and my glasses were completely shattered. And tiny, sharp pieces of glass went straight into my eye. What started to be a joyful journey came to a heartbreaking and a glass breaking end. And due to that adventure, I couldn't go to school for weeks, and I even missed my exams. Friends, when I was at the end of that street and I saw the opportunity to go beyond the street, to do something I wasn't supposed to do, I thought that no one is watching me. But what I failed to realize, what I failed to realize was that there is still a power that was watching me. And I faced consequences for my actions. If I had this belief in my heart that even if no one is watching me, even if my parents are not watching me, my Lord is watching me, I wouldn't have gone out of the street. Tell me something. If you're driving on the road and you come across a red light and there is no one else on the road, it's just you, but you know there is a safety camera on that red light that is recording your movements, will you jump the red light? No. No matter what happens, you will not jump the light because you have conviction in your heart that a camera is watching you and you will face consequences if you go against it. Around 1,000 years ago, Hazrat Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph of Islam, the ruler of the time, he used to walk on the streets of Medina at night, going from one house to another to check up on his people. So once, while he was walking by a house, he overheard a conversation between a mother and her daughter. And they used to sell milk and yogurt in the market. So the mother said to the daughter, "Oh child, mix the milk with water, and we will earn more profit when you sell it tomorrow." The daughter replied, "Oh mom, Umar the caliph will be angry. This is against the law." The mother said, "Well, Umar cannot see us. It is the middle of the night. We are in our house. It's only you and me. Why are you afraid of Umar?" The daughter said to the mother that, "Well, mom, if Umar cannot see us, the Lord of Umar can see us. And if you're afraid of Umar, then you should be more afraid than the Lord of Umar." My friends, this is the kind of belief that we need to develop today. That no matter where we are, no matter what time it is, day or night, there is still a power watching us. One power that is listening to each and every word we utter. One power that knows what's inside our hearts. Because this belief is the only force that can restrain man from evil and wickedness. This is the belief that keeps the heart of a person awake and clean. And this is the belief that makes better societies and a peaceful world. So next time, Toastmasters, the next time you come across or you are presented with an opportunity to do something you're not supposed to do, and there is absolutely no one watching, no cameras, nothing, just remind yourself that there is a power watching you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We now take a tea break, 15 minutes.
15 minutes, tea break.
नहीं, 5 minutes tea break. We are quickly guys.
Is on time.
इसकी चाय एक्सपायरी इसमें मिली चाय
Somebody, why you are late? Well, it's you guys will have to wrap up a little faster. Yeah, please do that. कौन कौन बोल रहे
your mentor. I told him, make her your mentor.
Awesome. Try for IELTS. You have that goal,
After a day, because whatever you have done,
For me, it is a language. For me, it is a pure language because I have time. If I have that particular proficiency, that particular language, I will be doing it. So you can try for IST. Plus speech. And for that, we don't have that much. Of course, we have speech. You have goals, you can go for pivot teachers. My focus is not in that particular field. My focus is to minimize the grammar mistakes. But in time, I can understand that grammar is focusing this to the grammar doesn't matter that much. But it matters when we are there. It matters when we are there and we have particular audience. Improvement, speed, slower. Hello, sir. No, no, I'm not. Again, I have a problem about that. I'm not as blessed as you professionally. I have हमारे टाइम
You're in a train.
very sharp.
मुझे अपनी very straight.
इन दो पे ही लिख दोगे? हाँ लिख दूंगा। तो मैं तब तक इस पे लिख रहा हूँ।
11,000
वैसे ही लिखा हुआ है ना नॉर्मल।
That's why I waited for you.
Shahid, Shikha thinks she's not renewing. She just said, बताओ। कहती देखते हैं, मैंने कहा कहती देखते हैं।
Open up the fair.
How can you be satisfied with the system? I aspire to be giving an interaction on the stage.
I did not know. हम लोग friends, I might not be able to तो इससे भी कहता हूँ साहस से अपने बच्चों को भी आगे अब लेके आओ यार back to home for some rituals.
Guys, let's start.
Start. Let's start.
We are short of time.
क्या कह रही है?
मैंने मुझसे रिन्यू नहीं किया क्योंकि नहीं मैंने कहा करोगे कैसे देखते हैं
9,000 रुपए फर्स्ट स्टेपलर से 9,000 रुपए हो रहा है
चलो मैं 11 दूंगी
आप सदा क्यों है बात बुरा नहीं ना फैक्ट बता रहा हूं
ये दोनों हमारे ट्रिपल क्राउन Guys, we call the meeting back to order.
मेरा भी दे देगा वो
Everybody, we move to the second section of the Toastmaster meeting, which is the shoe.
Welcome back.
We move to the second section of the Toastmasters meeting, which is the table topics. Our table topic master of the day is Miraj. Before that, I would like to invite the evaluator, Toastmaster Sahil, to share his evaluation objectives. Table topic evaluation objectives.
I don't have anything. Okay. I am the table topic evaluator. The objective of table topic evaluator is to evaluate the table topic speeches, what went good and what could be improved. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I now invite Miraj, our table topic master. Miraj has joined the club recently. He has just given his icebreaker speech and he is my mentee. So all of you, please encourage him.
Good afternoon, everyone. You all can smile. It will not cost you. So I'm a table topic master for today's 343rd meeting. Table topic is that section of the Toastmaster program which gives you an opportunity to practice impromptu speech. I'll ask someone to come here and speak on the topics. Try to speak at least 1 minute. The timer will show you green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. Table topic is a fun session that serves two important purposes. It helps us improve our impromptu speaking skills. It encourages participation. We gain confidence by participating. Each time you step on the stage, you grow more confident. The speaker can treat the topic in any way he wants. You can tell a personal anecdote related to the topics, pros and cons, or a funny story. It will all up to you, up to the speaker. And now I have 8 kids who would like to participate. Shikha.
Do you think settling for short-term goals help you achieve your long-term future self?
Okay.
See, while it sounds all good to have goals and it just motivates you and everything, but I'm personally not someone who's all about making too many goals and step by step making steps around it. While it works more professionally, I think it works more in that sense. But in a personal life, I am somebody who lives it today. And okay, there are some ways I know that I'm settled in and maybe naturally how the life will span out. But if somebody would ask where will I be, maybe down 5 years, probably I will have more answer to give on a personal front. But professionally, gradually the graph progresses, and that's how it goes. So really, to say short term, philosophically, yes, short term you need to break down the long term goals into short pieces, and that's how you progress and you measure your growth and progress. But I'm personally not someone who does too much of that. I'm just being an honest confession in that sense. But yeah, philosophically it does make sense, and I think that's how you probably progress. Going forward. Thanks very much.
Okay, who's next? Please. Describe a situation in your life where you took a risk and it paid off. How did that experience shape your future? Describe a situation in your life where you took a risk and it paid off. How did that experience shape your future?
So I would like to tell about an experience where I had to take a decision: should I move to a particular job or not. I was settled in at a company, spent there 2 years, and I was too much comfortable that I was not thinking of making a move, but some consequences or some certain circumstances came in such a way that I had to take a decision to move to a new job. And that is the risk I took, and it has rewarded me a lot since it has helped me gain two hobbies. I work for a company which has footprints in Latin American countries, and it gave me an opportunity to learn Spanish, first of all, and learn dance forms, their dance forms. And these are the two things which I took up when I was progressing on my journey towards this company. And this is the thing which I believe I took the best decision. I have spent 1.5 years in this company for now, and I truly enrich those experiences. I have spent a great time, made some great friends, I shared some great camaraderie with all of them. So yeah, sometimes you have to take risk in order to progress in your career, and I'm glad that I took that risk, which helped me grow leaps and bounds in my career. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Deepak. Please do.
How can you use self-reflection to better understand your values and goals for your future? Okay, thank you, Toastmaster. So, my topic is how can you use your self-reflection to better understand your values and goal for your future. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good afternoon.
My topic is how can you use your self-reflection to better understand your values and goal for your futures. Uh, I think this particular topic resonates with me because most of the time I'm into introspection, and whenever I find time, I spend with myself to understand myself more and what is my values, what do I want from my life, and am I on a right track? Am I really living? Am I really doing what I really want to do or not? So uh, this particular thing, introspection, you can say it's meditation or like spending time with yourself, but it really helps you in your life and in achieving your short term or as well as long term goal. If you just spend your time with yourself, whether it's 15 minutes or any time like 30 minutes or an hour, you will really get to know about yourself. You will drift yourself from a rat race. Uh, I was listening a speech from Shah Rukh Khan where he said that he spent at least an hour or two with himself, and whenever he feels like whenever he's feels like he's not fine, he spend more time with himself. So that because he says that you are the person with whom you should spend a time more. But nowadays we spend most of the time on social media instead of spending time with ourselves. And even we want to spend time with ourselves, we go and see some motivational video and then we relate with the speaker with us instead of straight away understanding yourself. So this is all from my side about this topic.
Okay. Now who's next? Would you like to give a try? So how can developing strong relationship with others help you achieve your future self? I repeat, how can developing strong relationship with others help you achieve your future self? Thanks.
Hi. So I believe I am kind of a giver. So when I work with somebody, when I in family, when I meet my friends, I think that how can I give the person something. And when I think of doing something for somebody, I realize that indirectly somebody, some sense, some power is helping me, giving more back to me. So I'll give you an instance. I was having my own business on demand kabadiwala, and what I used to do, I used to buy old cycle, old stuff, remodel it and sell it on OLX and all. So what happened? Once I got a call from somebody that that he needs to buy the cycle what I had listed on OLX. So I said, okay, come. When he came there to my place, I saw he's on the crutches. Uh, it's just 5 years old story. I was surprised. Why is he coming on crutches and to take the cycle? So I said, would you be able to ride? He said, I will have to do something for myself, for my family. I said, okay, if you want to. So he said, I will take a test drive. The cycle is okay or not for him. Then he took the cycle. He rode for almost 50 meters, and he fall down on the road. And it was afternoon time, Sunday. Luckily, the road was empty. He just fall down, but no vehicles were there. So I ran towards him. I just picked him up, make him sit near to the place, a temple, a tea shop, and I told him, "You go home. I will give cycle to you to your place some other day." But he was not able to do that, and I didn't know the person, but I wanted to help him to go his home safely. So I just booked a Ola for him, and he went his place. Somebody was sitting there next to me, and the person was listening. There is an old person and old husband and wife were sitting just to visit the temple. They were there in the near to the Ramakrishna mission. So they were listening all the story, the discussion we were having that moment. And once the person who was injured left via Ola, so he asked, "Who gave the money? Why did you? How will he pay the money?" I said that Dadu in Bengali we say Dadu, grandfather. I already paid by uh, uh, Ola money using my card. So he said that I came from almost 50 kilometers to meet Ramakrishna Vivekananda in the temple, but I found the Vivekananda on the road. That was the moment I realized that something happened. I did realize, and I felt good. And since then, I think of giving something to somebody, and get return more than that. indirectly.
Very good speech. So now I have 4 chits. Alina, please.
Do you think it is important to stay true to yourself while creating your future self? Why? As I've repeatedly spoken about in my stints as the Toastmaster of the day, one should measure ourselves by what we were before and where we aspire to be. That is something I firmly believe in. We are in competition with ourselves alone and not with anybody else. In that scenario, if our only true competition is ourselves, doesn't it make sense to be true to ourselves? In anything and everything we do, there is a code of conduct. There are rules and regulations. There is a guiding book or a meter, so to say. When we were in school, there was a school book or a code of conduct. Similarly, when we came to college, university, even each of your offices will have a code of conduct under which you can be fired in case you violate it. I know because my office makes us do that mandatory training every year, and we all hate it. We feel it's a waste of time. However, greater than any code of conduct or any contract anybody may make you sign, it is your own conscience, your inner self, your the voice which speaks to you, which should be your yardstick. Only then, I believe, can you sleep peacefully at night. Now, it is very easy for me to come on the stage and tell you so. However, in real life, that is not always possible. I remember I had a disagreement with my manager the other day on something he was asking me to do, which was not morally or ethically wrong. However, I did not believe that that was the right way to address the situation. I told him, I do not agree with what you're saying. However, I will do it because you are asking me to do so. So I managed to walk the thin line between honoring the code of conduct and my manager and also staying true to my morals. That is what I believe. However, at the end of the day, I invite all of you to introspect, decide what works for you, what does not work for you, what is something that you can agree with, and make that the yardstick of your actions, the yardstick of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavina. So now I have 3 chits, and let me give the chance to Aryan come on the stage and
The role of failure in shaping your future, any instance of your life. Okay. Anything which makes you feel like a failure, which might have helped you in the future, is something which comes in a late time. Okay, when you think everything is going well in your life, nothing could go wrong in your life, that is the one moment that it's least expect that you face something which you never expected to come or did not want to come. This is usually like a mistake you make or like went too far on something. These small failure things can help you change future in a very drastic way. I remember it was my online exams. Okay, it was the lockdown corona time. Nobody wanted to study. I thought that if I wouldn't study it won't make a big difference as I could like just cheat off the online thing. But my mother did not allow me to cheat off. Okay, and I was a bit scared. I thought that it's online classes. Who was going to know that I cheated in an exam or not? It was my first duty. My mother wanted me to take it very seriously as it's going to promote me to class 8 and she didn't want it to take any risk. That one moment I did not pass in my test since we had time between the each paper. I could study for the next, but that one single paper had changed the view of online classes. Of course, till a very selective period of time, till my midterms came, I studied really hard because I didn't want to face that risk again. So that's the only instance I can tell you for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that's it from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raj. We move to the last section of the meeting, which are the evaluations. I invite our general evaluator, DTM Shahid, to take over the stage.
Thank you, my Toastmaster of the day. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. We are running short on time, so I'll not take much of your the time in setting the preface. I'll straight away start with the evaluation of the speaker's speeches. The first speech was of Toastmaster Saurav, and Toastmaster Saurav delivered his speech. And since I am his evaluator, okay. The speech is all about using presentation software. So let me first explain that presentation software in Toastmasters Parlay does not just mean that you have to use a PPT. It can be anything. It can be some show of cards. It can be any other mode of PPT like a Canva, or you can use a flip chart or a whiteboard. It depends on what is your purpose of the speech in any other situation. So in the situation of this today's speech that Toastmaster Saurav delivered was goal setting. Now in goal setting, he used the PPT as his tool of software of presentation. So let me come straight to the technical things. Number one, the clarity of the speech, which I believe that needs to be more in terms of. Now I'm not going to use the CRC approach here. The CRC approach is that you use commendations, recommendations, and commendations. But for Toastmaster Saurav has already delivered two levels, and he now deserves a more critical view of his speeches so that he can improve on themselves. The first thing is the clarity. I've always talked about that clarity only comes when you are using certain short sentences so that you are able to pronounce them well and you are able to comprehend them in your mind and then deliver them well. So what Toastmaster Saurav needs to work on is try shorter sentences so that he can have more clarity in his speech. Make them short and simple. Vocal variety here, Toastmaster Saurav has improved a lot, but as it is that there are four aspects of a vocal variety, that is pace, pause, power, and pitch. I still believe that Toastmaster Saurav has to work on his pace and pause. Both of them have to be worked. He is a little faster and he is not slowing down in terms of taking pauses between from one transition to the other, like speaking from one part to the other. When he is delivering that there are two features of goal setting, then he should take a pause between the two. Eye contact is fantastic. He's doing very well with the eye contact. Gestures. Now, this gestures, what I believe in Toastmaster Saurav's speech, should be more open. So he is working on his gestures within his border of his body itself. So for example, if you are talking about, say, let's set a higher goal. So you don't say let's set a higher goal, but you set a higher goal. So see the difference? That is more open body language that is required in terms of gestures. The speech was very much of interest of the audiences. If everyone wants to learn how to set goals. Toastmaster Saurav's comfort level is always fantastic. He has never let us down in terms of coming on stage and delivering a fantastic speech in terms of comfort level. Interest that he engaged the audience was again very good. His content was very good. He was very focused on how to explain the goal setting part in his speech. Now comes the actual purpose of this particular speech. The objective of this speech was the presentation slide design. Now, what I believe here is that when you are giving a presentation, especially on a PPT, you should use more of images rather than text. text should be more in punchlines, and images should be more highlighted, and then that image should be explained in terms of your own language. Now comes the slide part effectiveness. Again, I believe that out of a scale of 5, 3 is the mark that I would give to slide effectiveness, because the slides started with goal setting, but I think you used 3 or 4 slides, not more than that, and they suddenly stopped. There was no takeaway in the slide that what is it that you have learned so far and what is it that you have to give a takeaway. If you are using, at least 5 slides should be used, and they can be a little more descriptive in terms of images that I just said. Topic, about the topic again was, like I just said, that when you are using any kind of presentation software, what topic is more important, that on the basis of that topic you can switch to the kind of presentation software that you're looking at. So Toastmaster Saurabh, since he was doing a PPT and it was about goal setting, the PPT was the most apt software that he used. That he, I would like to congratulate him on this. What he needs to work on is again the slide presentation. What he has excelled in is the content. Now he has given so many speeches, working on so many platforms to improve his communication skills and his stage presence. These 2 things are something that he's excelling on. Let's give a big round of applause to for his achievement. If this is his last speech of level 3, today he will be. Huh?
Not the last one for triple crown.
Not the last one for triple crown. You are still have to give.
This is the last one for triple crown, but not last for level 3. We have 7 more, na?
Level 3 is complete.
Yes,
Last speech of level 3. That means now if he has delivered level 3 completed today or tomorrow, if he surrenders, not surrenders, if he gets his level 3 approved by me as VP Education, he will again become eligible for the triple crown in the coming oration in May. Let's give a big round of applause again to Toastmaster Saurabh. I would now like to call upon stage Toastmaster Ramesh to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Anand. Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Anand, as we all know, we love to hear from Toastmaster Anand because of his short punchlines. So, yes. So, a lot of things that he did very well was he started with a question, and he used. I'm going to do it very quickly because we don't have much time. He used a lot of metaphors. For example, looking on the dark side of that, and other side of the coin, rainy days, stranded dogs. So he used a lot of metaphors, and he even used a comparison to tell how big USA actually is. He said Delhi is like a dot, even though Delhi is so large. Delhi is like a dot on the map of India, and USA is 3 times larger than India. What I would recommend to you is, if you speak a bit slower. I mean, if you slow down your pace, you will come across as more clear. You will have more clarity, because when you say short sentences very quickly, a lot of times it happens that people do not understand what you have just said. I believe that you were connected with the speech, but if you had memorized it a bit more, if you had put in more time in that, it would have been better. And if you can speak a bit louder, it would come across as like you are confident, and it would be better. Over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh. It was Toastmaster Ramesh's debut evaluation, and it was a job well done. We'll talk about it later. I would now like to call upon stage Toastmaster Saurabh to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Sahib.
Thank you so much, GTM Sahid. The title of Sahil's speech was
40% rule, and Sahil is actually excelling his vocal variety and stage presence. Today, he used almost all the stage, entire stage, while providing or giving this speech to us. And normally, we use CLC approach as because we don't have that much time to use all the good parts of the speech. What I understand from Sahil's speech was he improved a lot, but still we don't have that much. He has to improve a bit in terms of vocal variety, and also the points elaborated for me, this pause in between two sentences that you have to look after, and you have to practice it a bit. And when you are using a prop, it should be well organized. You are not allowing to keep it inside or hide it from the stage. You have to keep visible towards the audience, and when you are picking it, you have to be first inform why you are picking it or why you are using the prop for that particular reason when you are applying that in your speech. Apart from that, uh, initially the opening was good, but in between the space, the tone was a little flat. So, but you can work on that. I know that you have a proficiency in that particular language. When you apply or keep practicing the speech before presenting it, I believe it will automatically come to your body language and your vocal variety. So you need not to think on that particular topic. It will be automatic for it if you will practice it. At the end, it was very well narrated about this 40% rule. Very well explained. People understood. I believe the narration part when they talk about that particular person. I forgot about the name of that particular person. He has a very good eye contact between all the audience, and audience can recognize the story when he is narrating it. So I believe with the time and with practice, we will excel more in future topics. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurav. With this, I would now like to call upon stage Toastmaster Lavina to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Ramis.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. The purpose of this speech was to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The purpose was absolutely clear. The speech throughout held a common theme of talking about a higher power. The speech was excellently structured. It started with a question which all of us could relate with. So the audience was engaged right from the get go. After that, the speaker spoke about a personal experience which made us relate to the question even more. I commend the speaker on the visualization and the acting. When he spoke about the parents watching from the balcony, he looked up, his hand went in that direction, depicting the balcony. He spoke about riding a bike. The hand gestures were excellent. Hand gestures I find to be a bit tricky. There is that fine line between overdoing and underdoing. And here the speaker was absolutely perfect. I also commend the speaker on the voice, the clarity, diction, pronunciation, volume, modulation. He was talking about a subject he was deeply passionate about, and when he was talking about God, one could hear the passion in the voice. The voice became louder, it became more powerful, and all of these voice modulations helped the audience connect with the topic better. Recommendations: there is an accent with which the speaker speaks. So the accent comes at regular intervals, and it took my focus away from the speech. Probably because I am more used to the Indian accent for no accent. A second recommendation would be on the content. One of the ground rules of Toastmasters is to not talk about religion. The whole speech was structured about religion. It is not about one religion or a second religion based on my interpretation. There are people who do not follow any religion. So religion versus no religion is also a religion. I leave that to the general evaluator. An excellent point here was that the speaker narrated a story within a story. The speech was all about his own personal experience, and within that, he brought in the story of a woman and her child, her daughter, which helped us connect with it better. Finally, he left us with a takeaway message. Our speaker aspires to be an international Toastmasters speech giver and winner, and I do believe we are looking at a very worthy candidate. So, an excellent effort all along.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavina. With this, I would now like to call upon stage the table topics evaluator, Toastmaster Sahil, to evaluate the table topics speaker. Please take the forms, the ballot papers. Toastmaster Sahil.
Thank you, GTM Shahid. Okay, first of all, I would like to appreciate Toastmaster Miraj for bringing up topics related to the theme. And one positive point also that I found is that he mostly brought up where the speakers have to share the incidences from their life. So it actually makes the speakers who are new Toastmasters or the guests more comfortable in speaking because they have to share an incidents. Uh, so kudos to Toastmaster Miraj. The first speaker was Toastmaster Shikha. Do you think settling for short-term goals help in achieving long-term goals? So she is a spontaneous thinker. I think she immediately starts with the topic, and I think she doesn't even pause and think. She has that ability to speak. That is a positive point. She doesn't get feared by the topic, and she dives into it head first. So that is appreciated. She has a very structured approach to the topic. One recommendation is that there were some instances where you looked around thinking in between the speech, so that could be worked upon. And there were a lot of usages of probably, maybe. So depict a sense of conviction. That is my recommendation. Second was Himanshu. His topic was an incident where you took risk and it paid off. So, one positive point that I found in Himanshu's speech was he actually emphasized on the points where the crux of speech was there, or it was an important point, part of the speech. For example, I had to take a decision. So that is a positive point about Himanshu. The hand gestures were on point when he had to count one, two, three. So that is also appreciated. Smooth speech, good vocabulary, and he also maintained a smile throughout. So even when you share an incident where it was a difficult moment in your life or it was a hard point, smiling actually makes everyone believe, and even the speaker tells that he took it with a pinch of salt. So that is also appreciated. I couldn't find any recommendations for now. Third speaker was Toastmaster Deepak. Use your self-reflection to better understand your values and goals. Um, gave an example. He gave an example to start, and the Shah Rukh Khan example that is appreciated. His whole speech has a sense of connectivity where he connected his example to his own story. So that is a positive point. The one recommendation is that before starting the speech, instead of using filler words to fill that gap, I think you should pause and think. That is totally fine with pause and thinking. So that is my recommendation. Fourth speaker was Fourth speaker was the name I forgot. Srinath. Okay. Fourth speaker was Srinath. How can developing strong relations with others help future self? So he actually maintained eye contact with everyone, which a lot of guests or new Toastmasters actually look to the ground or here and there because they're nervous. You actually maintained eye contact. That is a positive point. And while you were delivering your speech, it felt like you actually wanted your story. You actually wanted to tell your story to others. So that is a good point. You have that aura, that people want to listen to you. I felt personally that you actually want to tell and people want to listen. I felt one recommendation is that instead of using filler words during speeches, like elongated ands and you could just pause and think. That is totally fine. Fifth was Toastmaster Levina. Important to stay true to yourself. So one positive point that I found was hand gestures. When she depicted the school, she used this, which means the past, and then this means the present, and then she talked like this about the future. So that actually bounds the story in itself, or weaves the story. Second point is that she immediately finds a story related to the topic, which immediately catches our attention. The most positive point that I found about Toastmaster Lavina is that the speech had a conclusion. So most of the speakers, they tried to relate the topic to their own selves. They did not, try to give a point out to others that you can take this away from this topic. So in terms of conclusion, Toastmaster Lavina did a great job. Sixth speaker was Aryan, the role of failure in shaping the future. You have a very philosophical approach to life. That I think you can become a great philosopher. He had this positive introduction to the topic. So I think that is appreciated. He actually started with a well-rounded approach, and then he came to his own self. So I think that helps in connecting the topic, the people with the topic. One recommendation is that you could try to maintain eye contact with the people at the back also. You, it's not necessarily nervousness. You have a habit of looking at the first two people who are at the ground. You could try to look up and try to capture the audience in a more better. That's it from my side, and back to the general value.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sahil. I would now like you to please pick up your poll chips and vote for the best speaker. Toastmaster Saurabh, Toastmaster Anand, Toastmaster Sahil, or Toastmaster Ramesh. And also vote for the best speech evaluators. Toastmaster Shahid, Toastmaster Ramesh, Toastmaster Saurabh, Toastmaster Lavina, and Toastmaster Sahil. So while you are giving your polls, I would now like to add on to what the speech evaluators have done so far. In terms of Ramesh giving his debut as a speech evaluator, he did a fantastic job. He was very humble while recommending that Toastmaster Anand should practice his speech. I believe Toastmaster Anand has a unique style of speaking. With that unique style, what he needs to do is he should not put the speech narrative or the script on a table. You should be bold enough to do it. When I first delivered my second speech, like you just did, I actually cheated the way you did. So there is nothing wrong with this.
You have a bright future there.
But then, yes, you do have a bright future. Cheaters become very good successors, and they become very good leaders also. What you need to do is you need to make a few points and just put it down on a slip and then elaborate on this rather than looking at the slip content on the left. That actually removes your vision from the audience, and it cuts your you know connect with the audience. Your content was good, it was very impressive. All those people who are taking America as the living dream must have realized that Delhi is the dream they should live in. And the rest is history that you have told us a lot about. Regarding Saurav, evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Sahil, again, Saurav did a fantastic job. I have nothing to add to it. Saurav has very clearly told Sahil to improve on certain recommendations that I also agree to. And I believe that Sahil is definitely going to inculcate those recommendations offered by Toastmaster Saurav. Toastmaster Lavina evaluated the speech of Toastmaster Ramesh, and again, she did a lot of justice in terms of appreciating Toastmaster Ramesh. Now, let me tell you, Toastmaster Ramesh is under the tutelage of a very prominent motivational speaker. He revealed this to me only recently that he is the assistant of what's his name? You were assistant of There is a motivational speaker by the name of Munawwar Zama. If you just Google him, you will find a lot of YouTubes of his Munawwar Zama. So he was working under him for some time, and now he is also giving training on spoken English to a lot of religious madrasas all over India. That is why you see his style of evolution that he is into, in terms of delivering his hand gestures, his stage movement. Despite his small demeanor, he still stands at one place and delivers his whole speech, and people do not even get distracted even once. They actually are looking at him. So we need to understand what are the nuances that we need to work on while delivering a speech on stage. What is it that I can relate to that speaker with in terms of his persona, his presence on the stage? that I can reflect on or mirror and improve on myself.
Just one thing I'll add. I'm not confined to just religious institutions. I'm not confined to just those institutions.
Okay, so let me correct myself. He is not confined to just religious madrasas. He is open to delivering such spoken English sermons to you people also at any given time.
Everyone is an expert here.
Anyway, that was a jest. What else I believe that Toastmaster Lavina refrained from adding in terms of recommendation is because she was, again, I believe, really impressed by Toastmaster Ramesh delivering his second speech with such power, is that the accent that you use sometimes betrays your desire to shine. When you want to shine, you try to copy someone, you try to act like someone that you have already seen. So when you are taking a tutelage from someone, just do not copy that person if it is not required. So accent, sometimes some people have it. I remember this lady, my mentee, she was my mentee, and she was from Jharkhand. She was a complete Indian, but when she used to speak, people used to think that either she is faking or she has learned English from London. Both of the cases were not there. She delivered fantastic speeches. When there is some education module, I'll show you her video. She delivered fantastic speeches to reach the district level in terms of ISC speeches. It is that she was studying in a convent, and those people actually made her have that accent in her, and it became part of it. And after a very long time, we tried to understand that this girl from Bihar is able to speak in a completely European accent. It took a lot of time to digest that, but once it digested, she was really appreciated for that. It was completely natural. Again, Toastmaster Sahil, as the table topics evaluator, did a fantastic job. With this, I would now like to move on to the auxiliary role players. I would like to call upon stage Toastmaster Deepak to give us the report of the grammarian. Toastmaster Deepak. Yes, after the phone से. अभी पूरे हो जाएंगे. Toastmaster Deepak.
There are many good usages of the word. First is stranded, compassion, intrigued, drenched, marginal improvement, overheard, camaraderie, yardstick. There are some recommendations in regards to sentences. It was used what you dreamed. It should be what you dreamt. And the next one was uh, to become like that. It should have been to become like them. Next is who is responsible. It should have been who are responsible. According to sentence, it should have been who are responsible. That's it. And the word of the day was used by Shahi sir only.
And
I think it should be.
Yes, Lavina also used it.
I think I missed. Sorry. So I think it should be used more often.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak. Yes, the word of the day should be used more often. So, okay, let's see how can you describe your life with this word? Some relatable, your past that you want to describe your life with this particular word. Anyone can volunteer? Yes, Lavina.
Whenever I wake up late on a working day, my whole schedule goes haywire.
Excellent. Anyone else? Saurabh, your life is haywire.
Not at all.
Before you got married? Not at all. Yes, Sahil.
Not related to my life, but I would say COVID-19 started a small disease, but then things went haywire.
Yes, yes. Started with a small disease and then things went haywire and they're going again haywire again.
What?
Yes. Himanshu.
So, in these worsening macroeconomic conditions, the tech industry has gone haywire.
Okay. You are really worried about the IT people, and you are not worried the way they went haywire asking for paychecks more than they deserved. You did not look at that. Anyways. Okay, now I would like to call upon stage Toastmaster Neeti to give us the report of the AHA counter. Toastmaster Neeti.
Hi, as a role of my AHA counter, I was to count the and ums that has been used by the speakers. So Saurav has used two so's, and I have seen that he has improved a lot. Anand was flawless. He has not used any and ums, but he took two short pauses. Sahil has used unknown three times, so four times. Ramesh was flawless. Shikha in table topics used two ums. Deepak used two so's and three ums. Srinath uses four ums, two short pauses. Lavina was flawless while delivering her table topic. Aryan used three ums, and Shahid sir was flawless. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Neeti. I would now like to call upon stage Toastmaster Anand to give us the report of his timer. Toastmaster Anand.
Good evening, everyone. I have the timings. For speakers, Saurabh took 7 minutes and 34 seconds, but overall 11 minutes and 10 seconds, including the video. Anand took 6 minutes 18 seconds. Sahil took 8 minutes 35 seconds. Nami's 6 minutes 11 seconds. For table topic speakers, Shikha took 1 minute and 6 seconds. Himanshu 1 minute 27 seconds. Deepak 2 minutes exact. Srinath 3 minutes 20 seconds. Lavina 2 minutes 16 seconds. And Aryan 1 minute 40 seconds. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. I would like you all to please vote for the best auxiliary role player and the best speaker role player, that is TMOD. I think we have already done that. Fantastic. Now I would like to evaluate the meeting in general. I will make it short and sweet. The meeting started almost on time, just a few minutes late. That is good. Let's keep this as a practice for a longer time. The Sergeant at Arms, the acting Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Anand, did his best to give us the objectives of the, I'm getting distracted.
Housekeeping rules.
What I'm focusing on is that we have to state the club mission exactly word by word. That is something that we need to learn, and we need to learn it either from Google or from Toastmasters website or from Toastmaster Lavina, because she exactly has repeated those words as the Sergeant at Arms for almost 6 months when she was doing that role online. Coming to the presiding officer did his job well. He greeted the guest and the Toastmasters and brought the guests on stage and talked to them and asked them about their introduction. The Toastmaster of the day. Each time this lady comes on stage, she sets the stage on fire and sends us with something to think about in our mind. Last time she told us to choose our worries smartly. Today she is telling us to choose our future smartly. And each time she comes on stage, she is so well prepared. She is so well versed in whatever she is doing in the theme. She actually takes the whole cake of the whole meeting, and we really look forward whenever she's coming on the meeting. I'm planning that the PR should, each time she comes on stage, the PR should do a campaign so that more and more people come on stage in the meeting. Coming to the table topic master, again, it was again a debut for Toastmaster Miraj as the table topic master for the first time, and I almost forgot to share with him what are the details of Toastmasters table topic master to do, but I don't know. Okay, I know now. Lavina help you. Yes.
No.
No, you did it all on your own. Fantastic. So this is how we learn by observing others. Toastmaster Miraj has exactly observed how table topic masters take the role, and then He has done it fantastic. And I'm sorry I could not share with you the details of how to perform this role, and he did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Coming to the overall meeting, again, the meeting had a little less of an energy. Guys, when you are applauding, applaud with your whole heart. I should get a bill from our club owner that the roof has cracked because you have been applauding so long. Can we do that now? This is how you should applaud for any speaker who is coming on stage. Other than that, the meeting was energetic. The role players were very well prepared. I request you all to take it as something of a discipline to come on time. And I have also got this announcement to make that you have only 6 more days for you to renew your membership at rupees 6,000. I today refrain from giving you a budget. I'll just share it with all the active Toastmasters before 31st March that we are almost short on 18,000 rupees. And to project the next budget for the next 6 months, the renewal fee, is supposed to be increased by almost 50%. So this will all go with the consent of the club members. But then this is how it is going to happen if you want that the club is alive as an offline club. Okay, so I would request you to please either enroll more members and also renew before 31st of March so that we can take this club forward in terms of money deficit and whatever. That will be all from my side. I would now like to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. The last exercise that we did, wherein we wrote down our future goals and where we were today, I did a similar activity before coming here. So what I wrote down, my future goals, I want to be a published author. And where I was today, I wrote, I have not written a word so far. Now, what is happening here? So then I went back to the study, which I used to prepare for the session today. It said that we talk about the gaps and not the gains. I may not have written a word today, but I know I have the structure of my story in mind. I have that penned down. I have the title of my book locked. But that is not what I thought, or that is not what I wrote when I wrote where I was today. I evaluated myself on a gap where I was vis-a-vis the goal and not how far I have come. It is extremely important for us to motivate ourselves so that we can be a better future selves. For that, look at the gains you have made. The gains may be over the last 2 years, over the last 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. Try making incremental gains every day, the way Toastmasters has taught us. Now, with that, I hand over the meeting to the presiding officer to announce the winners and give concluding remarks.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Lavina. I believe Lavina is a wise lady with a lazy physique. Sometimes she doesn't give the speeches on stage. She already decided to write a book, but not yet started this book. Sorry, her book. So I'll not take much of your time. Straight away, I will invite our VP Education on stage to share the certificate to our best winners. The first auxiliary role player, this team is actually help us to understand the rules and regulations, how we can improve ourselves in terms of time, in terms of speaking capabilities, and in terms of grammatical errors whenever we are using a particular language. So on that note, for the best auxiliary role player today, any guess? I would like to invite Toastmaster Niti, and I request Niti on side to hand over the certificate to her. With a round of applause. Me also. Thank you so much. keep inspiring others. DTM side, please stay back. The best role player. I suppose you already understood the structure of Toastmaster meeting, and for today's best role player is our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lavina. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, the most funny part, table topic, and for that we have a table topic speaker. Best table topic speaker for today's meeting is guest Aryan or Master Aryan. The honesty is the best policy. Listen to mom. Okay, now best evaluator, the tallest man in this particular room, Toastmaster Sahil. And last but not the least, he hided his entire journey in front of us. And for today's best speaker is Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on that note, that concludes. Thank you so much, DTM side, of the presentation ceremony. And that concludes our 343rd meeting of Toastmasters of Delhi. Sayonara. Thank you.
You did not take the feedback.